Good morning. Welcome to Fellowship of Spirit in the beautiful Four Corners, Farmington, New Mexico. And I'm Jerry Lard, and I'm your host for the day. There are more people on Zoom than there are in Fellowship, but we're blessed to have everybody here. Travis will be our speaker, and Don and Neva, welcome. I'm glad that you're here with us. And Yvette, we're always glad you're here with us. So if you will stay with me. Margaret will give us our prelude, Give Thanks by Henry Smith. Thank you, Margaret. That was beautiful. Father, Mother God, thank you for this beautiful day, for this blessed week that we've had, for the energy and the strength that you've given us to do what needed to be done in our lives. For me particularly, thank you, but for all of us, thank you for being in our life, and thank you for leading us to your way, to do your will. Amen. And we have a song, God Will Take Care of You, number 7 in the Brown Songbook, if you would like to open it. Margaret, beautiful. If you'll read along with me for a reflective moment. Love produces a flow of energy that I now feel. I love others more than ever, and I feel privileged to be here. Love flows from one person to another as we create an atmosphere of holiness, and so it is. And thank you to our Blessed Mitch Jones for that. And Shay Johnson has our spiritual reading.
I'm reading from the Science of Mind. Know thyself. Being myself allows the wholeness of my unique magnificence to draw in me those directions most beneficial to me and to all others. This is really the only thing I have to do. Within that framework, everything that is truly mine comes into my life effortlessly in the most magical and unexpected ways imaginable, demonstrating every day the power and love of who I truly am. That's from Anita Morjani. All natural laws have always existed, but only when understood may they be used. In this way, life waits upon our discovery of natural laws, our discovery of ourselves, and our discovery of relationship with the great whole. That's from Ernest Holmes. Self-discovery is the key to spiritual growth. All spiritual law relates to how we perceive ourselves within the context of our world of form and function. The words, know thyself, were inscribed above the entrance to the temple of Apollo, where ancient Greeks came to learn from the oracle of Delphi. What a profound directive, and what does this mean? For me, knowing myself means I accept that I am not my body, I am not my thoughts, I am not my emotion, words, or actions. I am one who expresses into life and creates every one of my experiences. I'm the absolute presence of the divine as only I can be. I am more powerful than any problem or challenge before me, and my resolve is to become ever more aware of the oneness of all. The more I embrace and embody these ideas, the more meaningful and magical my life becomes. Join me in this mystical journey of awakening. And the affirmation is, I know myself as the wholeness of divine presence. I always have everything I need.
Thank you, Shay. And Margaret has a song for us, the Garden Song, one of my favorites. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Beautiful. I love that song, Margaret. Thank you very much. I think we ought to get the kids to learn that song. I think they would like that. Okay, welcome, Travis, in Southern California, and he's going to tell us how to be in this global community, not of it. So please help me welcome Travis. Thank you for being here. You're on, Travis.
Good morning. Well, good morning. And I'm in Seal Beach, California. And it's a pleasure to be with you this morning. It was about 10, 11 days ago that I was thinking about this speaking engagement this morning and was thinking, I have no idea what my topic's going to be. And so I experienced, well, just the very mildest form of anxiety about it. And then fortunately, something else developed about that same time. I was giving some thought to the fact that last Sunday I would be speaking, well, not speaking, but sharing and doing the opening invocation here at the center in Seal Beach. And so I called Reverend Veronica to find out what her topic was. And she said it was in part that it was about Juneteenth, which was 3 days ago. And so I started thinking about Juneteenth. I mean, I laid awake that same night trying to go to sleep, and the thoughts just kept flooding as to like what was I going to share, ideas coming up, so many ideas coming up of what I would say. And then a as these thought progressions went on, I realized that I might like to know more about Juneteenth than I did. I knew it had to do with finally the slaves being freed in Texas. So I went online and I Googled Juneteenth, and what I found out was this, that and I did not realize that the Emancipation Proclamation of New Year's Day, 1865, did not free all the slaves. It freed the slaves in the Confederate States, only the Confederate States. Slavery was still happening in the border states like Missouri and Kentucky that were loyal to the Union, and in the Union states. And it was a ploy. It was a ploy to adversely affect the economy of the Confederacy and ultimately bring more manpower into the Union forces. It's estimated that 200,000 African Americans served in the Union Army. So that's substantial. And but that was supposed to include Texas. Yet it was almost 2.5 years later, on June 19th, 1865, when General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas, and issued the edict that indeed the slaves in Texas were already free, and he made that announcement that that should be effective immediately. And it was 1 year later, on June 19th, 1866, in celebration of that first anniversary, that African Americans, as best they could, put on their new clothes to celebrate their relatively new freedom and to worship and sing and rejoice. And then as they began to relocate to other parts of the country, they took that tradition with them. And so that was very interesting to be aware of that. And when General Granger issued that edict in Texas, it said that some, meaning most slaves, most likely, but also the idea was that some of the slave owners did not know this, which seems far-fetched after almost 2.5 years. For the most part, they chose to ignore that and reap the benefits of free labor when it was not no longer appropriate. And again, so it's just another example of what one group of people does to another in a world where now we are formulating such ideas that we want to work for and be a part of the unfolding of a world that works for everyone. And yet these slave owners had the opposite intention. And as I considered things that night, because I had just recently, a few days earlier, seen something on television about the anniversary of the utter devastation of Black Wall Street. And I'm sure you know that story, that in Tulsa, Oklahoma, there was a burgeoning, prosperous African American community where African Americans were educated. They were doctors, lawyers, bankers, investors. They drove new cars. They had fine clothes. They had a cultural environment that was magnificent. And yet there was neighbors in Tulsa that seemed to resent or be jealous of that situation. And it was a hair trigger that they had, such that the slightest provocation launched an assault on Black Wall Street, killing many people and totally destroying that whole area, which had stood as a shining example of what African Americans could accomplish in this country. And I'm talking about this stuff because when we start talking about in the global community, but not of it, this is a consciousness, this is an awareness that sets us up to be in a prayerful mode that is pervasive throughout our days, or should be, and ideally is, that and when we're in a prayerful mode, there is, it is integral to consider ourselves as being in that mode and proceeding from where we're at, whether we're as individuals or collectively as a community or society. Where are we at? Where are we starting from? And where have we been also? Because there's a song I really love that we used to sing in Huntington Beach. I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. And so when we talk about these things that have been done, oftentimes by white people against ethnic groups or African Americans, it is not to criticize, but to be aware of what we're leaving behind us and where we want to go, and we should have the attitude or the perspective that collectively, as a society or community, we must also say we love ourselves the way we are. There's nothing we need to change first before we love ourselves, but acknowledge what has transpired. And so in the process, my mind also went on to some of the things that were so regrettable that our Calvaries did to peaceful Native American villages. And those stories are sad and difficult for us to consider the fine, wonderful, nature-loving, and spiritual people that were slaughtered by our society. And now I'm bringing this up because while that seems so regrettable, we are now in the position of regretting things happening today. Our society, our global community is allowing these very same things happening today in our world. And I can easily imagine a future time when we will regret that the global community did not step up and say, no, this is not appropriate. I mean, what are you, as students of New Thought, to do? What am I as a religious scientist to do. And so as I was laying awake Thursday night, and it happened again Sunday morning. Sunday morning, I woke up early, mulling all these things over. But it was Thursday night when uh, an hour after hour slipped by and I was still awake, and I suddenly thought of these words. Oh, people, look around you. The signs are everywhere. And I'm going, oh, I know that song. What is it? And I could not, it was some time before finally I realized, oh, that's Jackson Browne. And Jackson Browne writes, oh, people, look around you. The signs are everywhere. You've left it to somebody other than you to be the one to care. And later on, he sings in this song, which is Rock Me on the Water. Also, it was a much more popular version done by Linda Ronstadt. But everyone must have some thought that's going to pull them through somehow. And then in another verse, he says once again, "Oh, people, look around you. It's there your hope must lie. Look among you," he says. "Oh, people, look among you. It's there your hope must lie. It is among us. It is within us. We are the people with whom our hope must lie. There's a seabird above you, gliding in one place like Jesus in the sky," he says. "Rock me on the water." Beautiful song. And so then, as I considered that song and remembered who it was by, there's another go-to song, and I think I might even sent the lyrics at one time to Jerry Lard. It's called Children's House by The Joy of Cooking. And they sing, "I think about past generations as the gulls fly seaward overhead. Indians who danced here have been forgotten, and who will dance here when I'm dead?" They go on later to say, "This is our children's house," and they wait outside the door. They're listening to our voices and learning what we think we're here for. Do we know, and can we tell them? Do we know? And I am grateful that in our spiritual communities, we are awakening to the light of truth and understanding a little bit more and a little bit more about what we think we're here for. Another verse starts, this is no mansion now. It's referring to the earth. There was a time when we thought that the earth could absorb and rectify and make adjustments to whatever the community of humankind did. And when we were 2 million people or 3 million people on the face of the earth, before we invented plastic and styrofoam, so much of which I see on our shores right now, uh, at the beach, uh, it seemed that the earth was too big for us to denigrate, for us to adversely affect. But it's not true anymore. We are messing it up. That verse starts, "This is no mansion now." And it wraps up, "For we are living in our children's house, and they will follow only if they can." You and I, who are people awakening to what is possible and to the power of our minds and the power of thought, the power of that resides within us, are, it seems, would have responsibility to change the course of action. It seems very, very daunting to consider what we as individuals might do, but one at a time, our numbers really need to grow. That's why your community, my community, whatever we can do to bring people on board in this awakening to the light of truth. And I also tried to think of the name of that highly regarded visionary and scientist who has been going about the work to alert the world of this, which I do clearly remember. It's a man that says, he's done a lot of research, and he says, we are using the Earth's resources at a rate that is about 1.6 times more than is sustainable. And so complicating things is the increasing intensity and duration and frequency of natural disasters while we as a global community continue to generate man-made disasters. So I ask again, what are you to do as practitioners of new thought principles? How am I, as a Science of Mind teacher, to proceed? And there is a lot of advice, a lot of direction that we might consider that comes from the Centers for Spiritual Living's global vision. And it's about 10 or so bullet points, this global vision. And it says, and I have a lot of material to share with you, and this is a lot of it. The global vision goes like this. We envision all people, all beings, and all life as expressions of God. We see a world in which each person lives in alignment with their highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God and connection with each other, a world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. We envision humanity awakening to its spiritual magnificence and discovering the creative power of thought, a world where every person discovers their own personal power and ability to create an individual life that works within a world that works for everyone. And I'm going to interrupt these 10 bullet points or so with Reverend Raymond Anderson, PhD. He presents this month, and I know, I think I've heard Steve Barker, somebody among you seems to subscribe to the Science of Mind magazine, and they have daily readings each month. And for June, Reverend Raymond Anderson is the presenter. And on June 2nd, he wrote, countless people are in desperate need of the bare necessities to exist and live. To them, thriving is a mere dream. And it occurs to me, these countless people surely are not in a position to do the envisioning that we're listing here in the global vision. Reverend Dr. Anderson quotes a relevant biblical passage on June 2nd, and it is from the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 48. You've heard it. From everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded. And from one who has been entrusted with much, much more will be asked. So, what have I been given? And what may have been given to you, perhaps, that is not afforded to those countless people that are in desperate need of bare necessities to exist and live. And I would say what I have been given, and perhaps you have been given, is opportunity, choice, time for inquiry and study and exploration of spiritual philosophies. And I am sitting here thinking much more is asked of me, for I have been given some gifts. And you may also have been giving some gifts. The gifts of living a life where the hierarchy of needs has been met for food and shelter and clothing, and you can devote attention, like I have, to studying, to exploring spiritual systems and philosophies. And I've been able to develop my gifts and have the experience and the education to go along with my abilities to give me and it gives me a sense of responsibility to be of service to those who appear to be following far behind, that are unable to explore these available gifts that I have. So I'm going to continue now with the bullet points of the global vision. We envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life. A world where this kinship with all life prospers and connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience. Oh, I just love this global vision, and need to be such a more of a part of it as a healing presence in the world. Going on, we envision a world where personal responsibility joins with social conscience in every area of the political, corporate, academic, and social sectors, providing sustainable structures to further the emerging global consciousness. Many of these bullet points are a mouthful in and of themselves. There's another one, shorter. We envision a world where every person has enough food, a home, and a sense of belonging, a world of peace and harmony, enfranchisement and justice. We envision a world in which resources are valued, cared for, and grown, and where there is generous and continuous sharing of these resources. Oh boy, these resources are going to be, I'm going to talk more about that. We envision a worldwide culture in which forgiveness is the norm. We envision a world that which has renewed its emphasis on beauty, nature, and love through the resurgence of creativity, art, and aesthetics. And they close with, we envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. Boy, I'm just full of quotes here because I'm going to go back to Reverend Raymond Anderson from June 2nd of this month in the Science of Mind magazine, where he says, we cannot effectively heal the world by focusing solely on its problems, or worse yet, ignoring them. We must be brave and face it all in order to heal it all. And face it all means not ignoring our problems and the things that have been done in the past, as so many in our country want to do now, is to bury and delete some of our history. There's those that say that those who aren't familiar with history are destined to repeat it. And so he goes on to say, do we want to create a world that works for all? Do we want each statement of the Center for Spiritual Living's global vision to be a reality? If so, we must individually and collectively cultivate a consciousness where we recognize a problem or limitation for what it is, and also know that the limitless possibilities and potentialities of the universe are present in all that we do. So I say, let's recognize a problem or limitation for what it is then. Allow me one more bleak observation. I'll try to hold it to one anyway. If we are indeed using 1.6 times more of the Earth's resources than is sustainable, then it is extreme insanity for nations to be raining devastation and destruction upon their neighbors and using the resources to do that, misusing the Earth's resources, energy resources, to do that, and committing societies to the necessity of rebuilding that which has been destroyed. What an insane waste of resources and way for the global community or members of that community to behave. So it's time for one of my favorite go-tos, and that's Eckhart Tolle's contention that all of the world's ills, whether individual individual or collective, are the result of the action of unbridled ego, showing up, I will add, as the lie and the ego's dysfunctional misconstruct that is us and them. There is no such thing. The confrontations, conflicts, and wars of the world are grounded in the idea of separation of us and them. And there's no such thing. And the time for people to believe in us and them must pass. But the leaders of too many nations and too much of their populaces are behaving like there is a such thing as us and them, and using that as uh, uh, as a to have a consciousness which thinks they must take from others or control others. The eternal truth that we know is that there is oneness and unity. Along with connectedness, they are a recurring theme in the global vision that I have read. So again, what are you and I to do as practitioners of New Thought principles? We can be participants in the dramas of our global community, but it need not be so. Just like we need not be participants in daily dramas of our friends, neighbors, and family. We are in this global community, but we are not of it. In the same way we are in this world, but not of it. Our lot need not be despair, fear, frustration. Neither the world or the global community gave me the light that I am, and neither can take it away or even dim it. And the global community can derive no benefit by my despair or your fear. I have been entrusted, and perhaps you may be able to say the same thing. I have been entrusted with much knowledge and understanding, grounded in the light of truth. And according to Luke 12:48, I agree with it, that it is reasonable to think that as a result, much is demanded of me, and I accept that gladly. Now, I hosted the prayer call on Friday, and we do that Monday through Friday here, and I can send you that link if you're interested. It's a wonderful program. There's a number of us practitioners that host that Monday through Friday, and we read the daily reading as part of that 30 to 40-minute meeting. Reverend Dr. Anderson began the Friday daily reading with this quote from Sharif Abdullah's A World That Works for All. By accepting responsibility, we take effective steps toward our goal, an inclusive human society on a habitable planet, a society that works for all humans and for all non-humans. In other words, all of life. He goes on to write, as Sharif Abdullah makes clear, when we accept and change how we respond, we engage in the process of creating and moving closer to the realized experience of a world that works for all. Now, it's a daunting task. It's a daunting enterprise to think we're going to change the world as individuals. But it starts with me making the choice to do what I can, accepting accountability and responsibility. And part of that responsibility and accountability is doing what I can to bring more people under this tent of New Thought philosophy in which we are empowered to do what's right, and we are also able to step away and put the drama of our own lives and the drama of the life of our global community behind us and stand and sit here as centers of peace and joy and love. There's an affirmation every day at the end of the reading, and his is this: I choose to accept both the responsibility and accountability to do what is mine to do. I serve, I lead, I volunteer. And for some of us, that may be I serve, or I lead, or I volunteer. But whatever the case may be, it says, and I create whatever spirit as me chooses. And that is tapping in to the grace of divine presence to be a healing presence wherever I am and to be a beacon of light that draws people into this way of thinking. For it is ever the case, as surely as the sun has come up this morning and will come up again tomorrow, that I am a child of the Most High. I am joy. I am wisdom. I am love and harmony. And as I be these things, as I am these things, as I make that choice, I am the healing presence the world needs so much. From everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded. I don't mind. It is a pleasure to know the truth that sets me free and to be grounded in the light of truth of my being. It is a pleasure, and I am happy to do this work. And remember the words of, well, I'm not ready for that yet. I'm going to go to Maya. I'm going to close with Maya Angelou. Um, yes, Maya Angelou. I just want to sit here and be grounded in this idea that as I am subjected to, by my own choice, of I'm subjected to the news of what's going on in the world, or I'm hearing what other people say, I am in a position and I know that I can put that behind me and smile at the truth that I am joy and peace, wisdom and love, and that as I am one with divine presence, my steps are ordered. Order my steps in your word, dear Lord. Lead me, guide me every day. And then that sets me up to do what is mine to do. As it said in the affirmation, I create whatever spirit as me chooses. You and I and the people who worship with us need to take that serious and let what spirit chooses as me to be something that is going on as much of the time as possible, ideally all of the time. And Maya Angelou says, the horizon leans forward, offering you space to place new steps of change. Here on the pulse of this new day, every new day, when the sun comes up, a new day, here on the pulse of this new day, I may have the grace to look up and out and into my sister's eyes, my brother's face, my country, and say simply, very simply, good morning. Good morning. I wish you a good morning, a good day, and literally farewell. And so it is. Thank you.
Travis, that was wonderful. I had a few thoughts. What was it you took the bullet points from?
It is the centers, the global vision of the Centers for Spiritual Living, and it's magnificent in its scope and breadth. And I would be happy to send a copy of that to you. I can send that to you.
Please, that would be awesome if you would do that. And, it's so easy for our egos to take over and say us and them, or me and you, or me against you. And it's like Course in Miracles says that if I give something away, I have less of it, and that's not right. If somebody takes it from me, I have less, and that's not right. If I give it, I have more. I have more to give because I am giving it away. It's kind of like growing a garden. The more you garden, the more you have. And I just firmly,
It's interesting you mentioned a garden because I was going to say an example is a rose that smells really good. No matter how many times you smell it, it doesn't run out of odor. You can just stand there all day and how much more, uh, even more than a rose, how much more that infinite source that life has of joy, love, and wisdom and beauty to flow through us. We can't we can't run out of
which,
what is our divine heritage and that treasure chest of divine attributes that I like to say we have inside.
how very true. Your words are full of wisdom for us today, and I want to thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us. I wish the world could hear these thoughts today. When we put it on YouTube, I hope there are plenty of people to look at it and see it and hear your words. Thank you very, very much for sharing with us, and you are a blessing to us, and thank you for being with us all the time.
Well, it's certainly my pleasure. I appreciate the opportunity.
You have a blessed week, okay?
Okay, I'm not today. I have nothing calling me to step away quickly, so
Okay, when your computer runs down, we'll know you're gone. But enjoy the weather out there, enjoy the water, and try not to take offense at all the plastic that's out there. I know what you're talking about. Okay, Margaret has a song for us, The Song of the Universe in the songbook, number 349. The universe sings, I am. The universe prays, I am. The universe prays through each atom and cell, the song of its own. I am. Every star in the sky is singing I am. Every bird winging by is singing I am. Every woman and man, everything in God's plan has a song of its own. I am. Let's start singing it too. I am. Let the birds give the cue. I am. Since I know that you are, and I know that I can sing the universe song. thank you, Margaret, for beautiful music today. We do appreciate you. I wanted to acknowledge Wendy for being here. Wendy, you're in our prayers. Blessings to you for healing, and it's so good to see you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Blessing to see you. We're not going to do a collection, but please, for everybody, let's do the celebration of abundance, just because we can. Divine love flowing through me multiplies and blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Through infinity, I am prosperous. And so we are, and so fellowship is, and thank you all for being here. We have no children today. We had a wonderful solstice celebration on Friday evening at the park, and we did not have a lot of people there, but it was wonderful, the people that did come, and it was wonderful to see people that we hadn't seen in a while. And even though the wind was a bit much, it was a beautiful evening, and thank you all for being there. And I hope we see you next year. I think that this is about it. I would like to close with a very short prayer. Thank you all for being here. Father, Mother, God, bless each and every one of us throughout our week and through our days to come. And remember, there is no us and them. We're all of the global community and not in it. And so, we love you and thank you for being here. Amen. Do we want to sing our way out, or do we want to? What do you want to do? You want to? Okay, we will. Shannon, yes.
Okay, I'll go ahead and play because there's people listening.
Okay, Jerry. Okay, Jerry. Hello, Jerry. Here's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Let me look at,
oh, wow. That's
you see,
beautiful.
it's three-dimensional.
That's
And
beautiful.
and here's the magic. Here's the carpet, like a Navajo rug.
Uh-huh.
It's the same thing. It's all metal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if you like art,
That's beautiful.
come visit. All right. All right, goodbye.
Bye, thank you.
You're welcome. Absolutely. Have a good day. Have a good week.
You too.
Okay, well, it's good to see everybody. Have a good week.
You too, Wendy. Blessings to you, darling. Good to see
Thank
you, Wendy.
you. Thank you.
Margaret, that was Wendy. Yeah. I didn't know if you could hear her.
Yeah, that was great.